Hello, I'm Bert Lancaster. I'm standing here on Mamayev Hill. Below me lies the city of Volgograd, formerly known as Stalingrad. In 1942, some of the fiercest combat ever took place in a monumental battle between the Russian and German armies. The ground was covered with bombs and artillery shells. Almost all of Stalingrad was reduced to rubble. Of some 46,000 homes and buildings, 41,000 were totally destroyed. In Stalingrad, 2 million soldiers fought for 200 days and nights. Many people in the West doubted that the Soviet army could win against the mighty Wehrmacht. But the Red Army fought the Nazis to a standstill, from street to street, house to house, room to room. Hitler's armies suffered their greatest losses to date as the Russians repelled attack after attack. It was the largest battle in history. So much was at stake that the victory or defeat of either side might well determine the outcome of World War II. Our story, the defense of Stalingrad.
Everywhere in the Soviet Union, there are massive statues, monuments of marble, bronze, and stone, testaments to the war that killed 20 million Russian people, daily reminders. Nowhere is there more evidence of the terror of war than in Stalingrad. The statues and the monuments seem to grow like trees in the city squares, in the forests of graves. Mamayev Hill is a pantheon where carved for all time is the name of every Soviet man, woman, and child who died in the Battle of Stalingrad. Some say 750,000. Others put the figure closer to 1 million. Everybody remembers. Nobody counts. This mother knows by heart the exact place where her daughter's name is carved. She can find it blindfolded, cut in stone forever.
Festung im Hagel der deutschen Bomben. Heer und Luftwaffe haben starke Kräfte zum Sturm auf Stalingrad angesetzt.
By the spring of 1942, less than a year after declaring war on the Soviet Union, Hitler's front lines were 1,000 miles inside Russia. Moscow was threatened. Leningrad fought on. Most of the countries of Europe had either been captured or had aligned themselves with the Third Reich. The Ukraine was gone. The Baltics and Belarusia had fallen to the Nazis. The great battles of Smolensk and Kiev had been lost. In January of 1942, the Nazi High Command had made an attempt to involve Japan in the war against Russia. The Reich, though strong, could use a second front. The Japanese would be the perfect ally. Japan's ambassador Oshima was escorted to the front. There he could see for himself the campaign-hardened Wehrmacht officers. This summer the Soviets will be crushed, Hitler had boasted. It's all but finished. While the ambassador was listening politely, he was thinking of his government's own war against America. Intelligence reports on every side were sketchy, while both the Russians and the Nazis prepared the spring and summer campaign. No one knew for sure where the Nazis would strike next. Stalin thought they would try again for Moscow. He knew the Nazis would not abandon their siege of Leningrad. On April 5th, 1942, the Führer issued his basic battle plans for that year's major campaign of force on the southern front towards Stalingrad and the Caucasus. The Nazis employed 74 of their 217 divisions on the Eastern Front, including 7 armored divisions. These were the 1st and 4th Panzer Armies, a total of about 1 million men, supported by 1,500 airplanes of the 4th Air Force. His secret objective was a breakthrough across the Don and the Volga. He would seize the great oil fields of the Caucasus and Baku and open the way into Turkey, Iraq, and Iran. The buildup of machinery, artillery, and tanks went on endlessly. And of course, more infantry. Some just in from Germany, seeing the front for the first time. Late that spring, the Soviets struck at Kharkov, intending to retake the Donetsk industrial region. Unfortunately, the Soviets hit the eye of the concentrated German forces, massed for the drive eastward. Three or four Soviet armies were almost destroyed in less than a week. Now the Nazi summer offensive was well underway. The familiar pattern of Nazi warfare was being repeated. What the Germans couldn't pillage or carry off as plunder, they burned in their passing. If some of the old ones and children escaped death, they were left with nothing.